So maybe, just maybe this will be the concluding video, and maybe I will go slacklining a bit. But of course, I think there's still more to say, so I may, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to record another session later still, because I still have some work to do. But actually I don't really have to rush it, because today is the 2nd, and now I'm probably somewhere around 128 maybe, hard to say, 29 maybe, and that means I still have like 40 to go, and I have still today, you know, I can still do some, and then I have the 3rd, the 4th and the 5th, so I have 3 days for roughly 40 videos, and that to me is quite okay. And I think it's alright. So that's why, you know, previously I never did it like this. I always pushed the work till the last moment. So I tried to stretch it out as far as I could, right? Like with my thesis for my master's. It took me, I think, roughly like 2 years. Like way more than, you know, I could have done that much quicker if I would have just said, okay, this is the job I need to do now, and just get going. So you put in a lot of work already in the beginning, or maybe not as much, but you just work continuously. Every day you just do a bit, you just keep working. And how I always did it, you know, every day I said, maybe tomorrow, nah, maybe tomorrow, right? And then, you know, first you have 2 weeks, and then suddenly you have just 1 week left, and then you have to cram everything into 4 or 5 days. And now I kind of had a goal. I knew how many videos to shoot, because I also planned it out. Because I knew I want 1 video every day for the rest of the year. So I was looking at, okay, now I started, you know, in April I did the first, like, the walking talker session. So I knew on the 2nd of May there was the first opening. And then I had like several openings until the rest of the year. And what did I do? I went on YouTube and I opened a LibreOffice file, like an LibreOffice calculator. I'm not going to say the pendant of the other one. So just a sheet, right? And then one line I said, date. And then I took the 2nd of May and I just dragged it down until the 31st of December. So I had now all the days, including the ones where I already scheduled videos beforehand. And then I went on YouTube and I just selected all the days where already videos were scheduled, and then I just deleted the rows. And then I knew these are the dates where I still have to put videos. And then I counted it, of course. I didn't count it by hand. I mean, of course, the row number already shows you, but somehow I just put, you know, a number 1, and then I dragged it down, and then I knew, oh, 177. And then every time now I upload videos, what do? I first upload them all, because they're usually in consecutive order. But that's also for me important. When I take a picture of one of my drawings, you know, that's then in the order that it's going to come when the picture was taken, and not when I make the video. That's just how I wanted to do it. Also, it allows me like to be a bit flexible, to already take the picture, because I say now I want this to come in there, and then I can record it the next day, even if I still record more videos in between. So what did I do? Then I go to the first line, which said then 2nd of May, you know, number 1. I select it, I go on YouTube, you know, I already, because on YouTube you can say standard settings for uploads. So I set, of course, already beforehand, because I like to make my job as easy as possible. So I try to standardize the things that I don't really like doing, and that will stay the same anyway. And that's why the entire series is like called Speaking Truth. And then I always, a hyphen, and then the number, and a hyphen, and then the city where it has been recorded. I started doing that for some kind of reason. I like it. And maybe it also raises more awareness for this area, right? So people get more aware that this place exists. So it's also paying some kind of tribute to the place where I'm recording videos, because that's the place where I want to raise awareness. And it also shows I've been there, I've done work, and so on and so forth. And it allows me to create also playlists. So when I go to other places, I will do the same. And what I do then I just go through it. Of course, at first I had the first time I had 34 videos. And then you just do it one by one. Take the first one, right, you look, okay, number one, zack, number one. Then you go through, everything was already set up, so the only thing I had to do was add the one between the two hyphens, because the title was already standardized. So there's the one, and then I go down, and then I say date of recording. I always keep that, as accurate as I can, and usually I can, because, I just record it. And then the place where it was recorded, you should still add that, the location. And then continue, and then schedule. I always set it now for 12 AM, and then the date. And then I go and save, and then I go into the file I was using to take track of the names or the numbers and the dates, and I mark it bold so I know that one's done. And then I go to the next line. I mark it already, I just select it, and then the next video. And then in the end, when I go back to the file, I know where I left off, and that's where I then continue. And I like that. I like that very much. Now with my podcast, I did it a bit different. So you say, this is the amount of days I still had left. Because I did the same with my podcast. I already scheduled some, in various... So I had, for example, one episode in December, one in November. So there were still 3 or 4 spots open, depending on, the amount of Thursdays that each month has. And then I just counted how many Thursdays are missing an episode. And then I had slots open, and then I started writing down serious names. So Manly Man, and then Phony Holy, and then Stately Dilemma, and then I gave them titles, and then I recorded them in that order, and then it's done. But of course I gave myself time until I felt like, now you have to work on your podcast, now you have to work on your YouTube channel. And the interesting thing is, before I had the feeling, okay, now for some reason you have to work on your podcast, I actually thought I was done with that. I thought, I'm not going to do that anymore. But then suddenly, now you do it. Okay. And then you just do it. And the same with my YouTube channel. One video every day, and you think first, oh shit, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's see. And then you just go ahead and do it. And it's important to just do it. And you're going to grow along the way. If I would have waited to start my podcast in 2021 or whenever I started, I would have never started, because I would have been waited until I'm ready. But when I start, apparently I was ready then. So I just started, and I just kept going. And how I always did it, you just flush out a lot of stuff, and then you got the experience, and then you start planning ahead, because you realize you can't just keep flushing out stuff whenever you feel like it. No, it has to be regular. Every week an episode. And then you keep, you know, trying to focus on that. How can I maintain this? Okay, I have to plan ahead, otherwise it's possible. Because now already comes the YouTube, and then, you know, how are you going to do that? A video per day, you know? If I do every day a video, then, you know, what do I do on the days that I also record a podcast? It's just shit. It doesn't give you any freedom. So planning ahead, and then you can write books. And also these, you know, I'm not gonna just release them. You know, now I'm going to schedule them. But I'm going to continuously write books now. Afterwards. From the 5th of May. And then, you know, I need some time to get into writing again, I know that. So I can plan with that already. But coming here is essential in that for me. Talking about these things. You don't have to record yourself. You don't have to film yourself. You don't have to have YouTube to come here and wrap your head around your problems and to reflect. You know, you can just sit here, you can talk to yourself, you can write notes, you can paint it, of course. Some people, they just write down everything they have to do. I don't do that. I usually don't take notes. I just do everything in my mind. I know what I have to do. And when it has a title, I write it down, and then usually I do it. Some people, they write down everything. I don't do it. I schedule everything in my head. And then I just, you know, all the videos that are uploaded and scheduled, I delete them. Because how many videos am I supposed to collect, right? Usually also once they've been released, I don't know. It's probably, you know, it should get to the point where people listen to what you say on the day you release it, more or less. Of course, every day a video is also quite a lot to ask to people to listen to all of it. But anyway, I think I'm done for today, at least for here, or maybe just in general. I think I still have also the rest of Spirited Away to watch. The first time in English, I watched it in Japanese already, and in German, and now in English. Also introduces some change, it's interesting. And what I often find that English people don't know how to synchronize. Because everything's mostly original in English. And thank you for listening and watching, and see you another time.